So today I'm continuing with Excel functions for HR data analysis. Excel, we've established, is a powerful tool for HR data analysis. And today I'm going to be looking at Excel date and time function. So I'm going to get into Excel now and show you examples. I want to believe you've already downloaded the PDF document, which I'm following for this series. Now, as a form of introduction, Excel has a powerful date and time functionality, which are very useful for HR data analysis. So if you go into Excel and within the tab and you go to your formula tab, you would find most of the functions that I'm using there. If you look at date and time function, there are a lot of them from date and a lot that you can actually use for HR data analysis. But for today, I'm going to be specific to I'll look at the today function, I'll look at the now function, I'll look at the year function, the network days function. Then how do you calculate age of employee within Excel, and all of that I'm going to be illustrating. So I'm going to start with the today function. The today function is the simplest. Anytime you're writing a function in Excel, you will start by putting the equals to sign. Then for the today function is very simple. What does the today function do? So once I type that in, you will see what it does. It returns the current date formatted as a date. So I'm going to be looking at today's date as at the time of this particular recording. And the way today function works is that you put today. It's not case sensitive, so it will really recognize it. Then double click, open bracket, close bracket. That's exactly what you need to do. And you click enter. And immediately you click enter, it's going to return the dates as the date concerning. It's going to return the date as depicted on your system. I mean, on your laptop. If you're using a US-based laptop, it's going to pick that format. That is month before day before year. If you're using the UK-based laptop, it's going to have the day before month before the year. And in this scenario, it returns it as my laptop depicts date. And as you can see, you have today's date, 22nd August 2024. That's at the time of the recording of this video. Now, if I need to do some functionality or some formatting to this date, I'll just need to go to, and anytime, once you've used the today function, anytime you open your Excel sheet, it would always have today's function. So anytime, so that becomes very useful for HR analysis. You know what to find the age of an employee, you want to find the length of service based on the hire date of the employee. This functionality becomes very useful because it returns today's date, and that's very beautiful for you. Now, if I want to do some additional formatting, I can go to numbers under my home tab, and I have it is formatted as a date. If I want to make it as additional ones, I just click in here. If I want you to just give me the numbers in terms of the day, the month, and the year I want it to be written, then I'll pick this, and this is the way it would return. But if I also want it to have this format, which I have in this example here, all I need to go is go back into numbers, then I go to custom, then I'm going to do some formatting. Now I will pick any of this one, then I'll make some adjustments, and you'll see the effect of the adjustment. 4 M's I'll give you all, but if immediately I reduce it, just look at the sample here, you'll see that that's exactly what it's having. For 4, it will give me the full dates. Can you see 22nd August? But if I pick this particular one, you would see it's now giving me the month is reduced, which is 22nd August, which is still the same thing. And I'll pick that and I'll click enter, which is very similar. It's the most important thing about formatting is that format the date as as you want it on your Excel file. That's what the today function does. The second one is the now function. The difference between the now function and the today function is that using the now function, it returns the current date and the time. So that's the difference. The dates and the time. So I'll do now, open bracket, close bracket, enter. Now what you will notice is that it is showing me 22nd of August 2024, and it's returning the time as at the time of this recording of this video. If I want to also do some additional edits, if I want to format, I can also do that. All I need to do is, you can see, is already within the custom format. If I want to play along with that, I can also do that. If I want you to give me this is just giving you an idea of what it's actually going to return, and that gives you an idea of what the now function does. Now the next thing is the year function. Now this will be very, very useful when you're trying to calculate the age of an employee, knowing fully well that you need the year functionality. What does the year function does? Open bracket, year, and there you see Excel tends to help you to complete. What the year function does is to return the year of a date as an integer ranging from 1900 to 999. Now what that means is this: so I put in the year function and I point to the date, Excel would extract the year out of that date function. So can you see 2024? If I use that on this function here, I'm intentionally typing in it just to confirm that it's not case sensitive, and I point to that, you could see it's 1994. It would extract the year. Now that becomes useful if I now want to find the age of an employee. So if I need to find the age of an employee, I already have something already here, but I'll need to break it down. What do I need to do? So if I need to find the age of an employee, now you will notice as I'm working on this Excel file, the timing of the now function is changing. When I started 2028, that's the 24 hours time. It was at 28 minutes past 12. Now is at 31. So it gives you an idea how the now functionality actually works. Now the next thing is this: I want to calculate the age of an employee, and I need to find, I'm going to be using the year function to do this, and I'm going to be writing a combination of more than one function. I will say year. I want Excel to find today's dates, extract the year part from today's date for me, then subtract that from the year part of the employee's date of birth, and I'll point to this and I'll click enter. Now the reason why this is coming back as date is because I need to format that cell. I will need to go back up and I'll format it as general, or I can format as numbers, whichever one it is, but for that I will need to take out the decimals. And what you'll notice is that if I now autofill this formula down, the entire age of the employee is now auto calculated. The same way I can use this same functionality to calculate the length of service. Applying that to length of service from the hire date or the tenure of the employee within the organization, all I need to do is I write the same formula. Now this is where I will need to be a bit technical. I'm going to copy that formula and I'm going to use it somewhere else where I'm going to be using paste special. So I'll double click and I'll click N. Then I would use, this time around, rather than just paste, I would just use paste special, and I'll pick formulas, and that will be auto fitted. You notice that the formula is now brought down using cell referencing in Excel, and I autofill. Now that is still giving me that same error, which means that I need to format that cell. And once I take it down, you would see that gives me the tenure. That means this employee has spent 14 years, 34 years, 11 years, 22, 11, 20. And that is me using the year function in combination with today's date to find the age of an employee as well as the length of service of an employee. Another interesting Excel functionality, Excel date and time function, is network days. So what does the network days does? I'll do that. Network. Now this is what it does. It returns the numbers of all days between two dates. So take, for example, this is very useful when we're talking about payroll management, and I need to find how many working days do we have within a month, knowing the beginning of the month and the end of the month. How many working days do we have, because we're paying for working days? I would do that, and what I need to do is this. I'm also going to, then once you use the network days, the first thing is the starting date. So what is the starting date? I'm going to use today's date as the starting date. I'm using today's function. Then what is the end date? I want it to give me the numbers of working days between. Net working days will take away all holidays and all weekends. It's taking a 5 working day in this calculation, and it will remove any holiday. So if I know there are holidays till the end of the year, it's going to take it. But one thing is that it's intuitive enough to know within a particular year how many holidays are there. But if there's some specific holidays that are more than the required holiday, you can put it there in the argument. But for this, I'm just going to use today's date, and I'm going to point till the end of 31st of December, and I'll enter. And you'll see that between now and the end of the year, I have 94 working days. To be able to create the distinction, so if I want to find the difference, the numbers of days between now and the end of the year, what I'll need to do is to subtract today's date from 31st of December. So I'll pick 31st of December minus today's date. And there you have it. I have 131 days till the end of the year. So I'll take away the decimal point there. I have 131 days till the end of the year. But with respect to network days, which is the working days within those 2 dates, I have 94. Beautiful. It takes away all the weekends within those 2 dates, and that's how you use the network days. Now, there is another interesting formula that we can use to find age in Excel, and that is the DATEDIF function. This particular function in Excel is available in older versions of Excel. It's been retired in newer version, but it still works. So if you type it in the very first time in Excel might not give you any argument or try to explain it to you, but it does still work. So it's also useful if you can know. It's a bit complex than me using the year function, but it also gets the job done. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to compare what result is going to give me. Here you have it. It now has date, and what I have here is all today's dates. I just copy down. Now I'm going to practicalize the use of the DATEDIF function. I already have it in here, but I'm going to rewrite it so that you can be able to follow through. When you're writing that DATEDIF function, you notice Excel is not giving you any explanation because it's been retired, but it still works fine. Follow the argument, start date. Now you can see it. What's the start date? Start date will be the date that represents the first or the starting date of a given period. I want to find the age. So the start date will be the date of birth for the employee. So I'll pick the date of birth as the start date. Then the end date will be today's date. So I'll pick today's date. I'll just put the argument there. Then I now need to add the units, and these are the breakdown. Y is the number of complete years within that period. I'll put it in inverted comma, Y capital, and I'll press enter. Now what you notice is this. Let me take this out. This is giving you 30 days, the same thing as I had here, 30 days. And if I use the same thing for all of these formulas, you will see that I'm having exactly the same age that I had here compared to this. For this, I used a different formula, which is the year formula, the year function combination with today's date to subtract the date of birth. And here I'm using the DATEDIF function. And I have the same thing. Now, the beauty about the DATEDIF function is I can give you the number of months, and it can also give you the numbers of days within each of those. So the only difference is that the formula is slightly different, And in this case, what will change will be the unit. So in this case, I use the unit of Y, which is year. For this, I'm going to be using the unit of month. So I'll point to the date, which is the start date, and the end date will be today's date, since I'm finding the age. Between those two dates, distance, the age, numbers of month. Now this time around, I'm going to be using the unit M, and I'll press enter. That gives you the numbers of months between those dates. And you can also try your hand on other ones, but the beauty about it is that the DATEDIF function also helps you to calculate the age of an employee and also length of service. And I've also tried that using the year function as well as the today's date combination together. So that concludes the Excel date and time functionality that are useful for HR data analysis. Remember to join me in the next series, where I'm going to be taking another interesting Excel function that will be useful for HR data analysis. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.